I start with white primer. I'm using my airbrush here, and then I come back and brighten it up with some Tamiya flat white, again through the airbrush. Then it's on to base coating some of the metallic areas. I do the silvers with Black Legion and the brass areas with Army Painted Darkwood. Then it's onto the black lining. I use Data Rowney ink with flow improver and some water. I don't worry about being particularly neat here, just try and get it done quickly and then come back and clean up with some Pro Acryl Bold Titanium White. I did the trousers with khaki drills or Starship Steel and the straps with Wasteland Brown. All of these are Vallejo Express paints. I then wanted to get the tricky bits out of the way. These are the soft armor joints and some of the wires. Use a variety of nice bright colors here. The yellow is Imperial Fists. For the main colors, I used my favorite red, which is Army Painter Poppy Red, and the blue again is Vallejo Express Mystic Blue. I then did the secondary colors, which is just the inverse of this. So the red one's got blue and the blue one's got red. After the main colors are on, I felt this was a good time for a cleanup again with the bold titanium white. Straight into the remaining colors, I did some orange sections with Magma Drop Flame. Just take care, this one's quite opaque and will cover the black lining. And the yellow is Imperial Fists again. Time for the skin. I use Gut Ripper Flesh from Citadel Contrast. I find this is quite a difficult paint to use. I'd like to explore other ways of doing the skin, I think, but this is probably the best I've done with applying Gut Ripper Flesh, and we'll come back and smooth it out later. Once the main skin color is done, I want to move straight onto the eyes. It's Chimera colors, the red, with just a dot of Vallejo game color gold yellow. Back to the skin, now glazing it up with some Vallejo game color dead flesh. I've got this mixed with glazed medium and a little bit of water. And I do, I think, 3 coats of this just to smooth the skin out. You can do more, make it even smoother. And then I added a drop of white and just did a single highlight layer. I then came back in and tried to finish everything else off, any bits of armor that were missing, any wires, things like that. I did the plasma coils on the plasma guns with Pilar Glacier, and I came back and finished the teeth with some Vallejo game color khaki and Pro Acryl white. Back to the metallics and just a layer of lead belcher for the silver areas and brass scorpion for the brass areas. I did the eye lenses with some Army Painter Poppy Red. I tried to blob it up towards the left to give some shading, and then did a line of Vallejo game color gold yellow on the bottom right and just a dot of white at the top left to make them look nice and shiny. The orange blends, I think, add a lot to these models and are well worth doing. I do these with Magma Drop Flame. I take a tiny bit of Magma Drop Flame and mix it with a lot of contrast medium. And then I have water on the palette as well. I'll go back and forth between these and mix them on the model to create the blend. It's a lot of fun to do and not as hard as it sounds. Glazes are very forgiving. And then I just build these up in, I think, 3 layers for the shoulder pads and a few more on the guns. You can come back, fix the blends later on, just add little bits of glaze here and there. And then I finish them off just by going in the opposite direction with the Imperial Fists yellow. Then I did a little extra work on the moon symbols on the model, just added some cyan and yellow to the eyes and teeth, and then picked these out with white and red. Then everything's done, so we're on to gloss varnish now. It's Vallejo Premium Gloss through the airbrush. Then I use some Green Stuff World Max Matte through the airbrush again. And then I come in with a regular brush and just touch up any bits that I've missed. Back to the metallics, a layer of Runefang steel for the silver areas and some Skullcrusher brass mixed with Runefang steel for the brass areas. And finally onto assembly. I use a lot of pins to make sure everything's nice and strong, drop of super glue, and pop these guys together. That's it. Thank you for watching the video. I had a lot of fun painting these guys, and I'm sure there'll be more brightly colored orcs in my future. This has been my first YouTube video, so please, if you have any advice or comments, do let me know, and any questions, just shoot them over.